Ambulance and 200,000 PA. Sick nation. I know what nutrition, man. We know vex enough, oh. We know vex enough. We know vex enough, oh. We know vex enough. They insult us so much, I wonder why we know vex. They have pushed our everybody, no, I wonder what is next. Monkey they walk, baboon they chop, baboon they chop. Them no they stop, them no they stop. Them belly pop, but them still they chop. Them go they chop for the money. Culture. No development, culture. Bring it on. This time they go sell that one. You food soldier, follow party, carry on your dirty water, present in everything. At the end of this year, wait till you get my dear. Has it yet become clear that these people they don't care? We know vexing.
If you think about these things, your head goes scatter. If you think about these things, your head goes scatter. Honestly, finish for this country we call Ghana. If you think about these things, your head goes scatter. If you think about these things, your head goes scatter. Honestly, finish for this country we call Ghana. Shine your eye, oh. So say you go down your grind, oh. More way, we go pop in time, oh. Dole. Up in time, oh, my way. Shine your eye, oh. So say you go down your grind, oh. No place cool for this life, oh yeah. Say we.
1-2-1-2 Radio Culture. Yes, indeed. First off, let me start by apologizing for the late start of the show, and that is due to circumstances completely beyond our control. As you all know, today we were scheduled to speak with one of the NPP communicators, the former communications director for NPP USA and NPP New York, Mazu Muftau, right? Unfortunately, at the very last minute, Mazu had, there was a death in not the immediate family, but simply put, somebody in the New York Muslim community passed on, and being as Mazu is one of the the elders, I should say, of the Yankasa community in New York, he just could not make it today. So we do apologize. Due to that, we had to really make a good decision if we still wanted to come or not. And we said, okay, all right, let's still come on there and give our piece. I was hoping to have Mazu, but if he's not here, I should say, I guess we still have something to say, and we will happily share it. In the meantime, let me start off by saying this is your show of choice, Weekend Editorial on Radio Culture. Let me greet all my people on ghnewsnow.com. I do really appreciate you doing the listening. Let me also say hi to everybody who is listening through modernghana.com. Na meka wenyina no na me try mo baby nso so amobetimi atie show no. All right, because people are already there listening. So these are the platforms where you can listen. If for some reason you're listening to an audio format, as in on modernghana.com or ghnewsnow.com, thank you very much, and keep doing the listening. That's the safe format where you can keep listening even if you're driving, and that's what I do. Anytime I switch to ghnewsnow.com, or anytime I switch to Radio Culture, I should say, a lot of the time I'm driving, right? And I just put on Radio Culture, and most likely it will be some serious playlist going on, some reggae music or some other type of music going on, or it will be a show that I can just listen to in an audio format, right? So we give thanks for that. And if you want to see some visuals, then you're also welcome to watch us on youtube.com. All right, YouTube, and our page, as you know, is GH News Now. So if you type GH News now, you will see us live, as you probably are doing right now on YouTube. Okie dokie. All right. My name is Kwesi Eson Bako, and I am going to be in the seat today. We did not get our guest, as I've said already, so I will have a lot of talking to do, unfortunately, because sometimes when that happens, it kind of puts me on the spot. And when it puts me on the spot, no, what happens is that I kind of tend to pour out my heart, and it's not supposed to be me doing the pouring out of the heart today. Today's show was intended to be a conduit for us to look into what Dr. Baumia's real choices are for vice presidential candidate, what they come to the table with, right? What kind of pros and cons they come with, what kind of baggage they are carrying. Yeah, and God knows some of them are carrying some heavy baggage, you know. But yeah, we're going to discuss that. But we'll still take a quick look at that, and then we'll go on to the main topic of the day, which, by the way, Mazu was not slated to be part of, except that he was welcome to chime in, right? And the topic, I would say, is the EC versus the people, tyranny versus fortitude. Now, let me, I'll give a backstory to that when we get to that part, right? But for the first part, we are going to be talking about Dr. Baumia and his real choices. This was supposed to have come from Mazu Muftau, but I personally will be looking at the names that are floating and a quick glance at what they are potentially going to be bringing to the Baumia ticket.
Country of 56 ambulance and 200,000 B8. Sick nation. I know what we know vex enough, oh. We know vex enough. We know vex enough, oh. We know vex enough. They insult us so much, I wonder why we know vex. Everybody know, I wonder what.
You see, that be the thing, oh. First of all, no, they insult us so much. I wonder why we know vex. First of all, why are we even seeing Mahmoud Bahumia's face on a ticket seeking to be president of Ghana? Why, oh why? Politics now, yeah, actually a concept per se, the former, the mode through which we want to govern ourselves. No, are we serious? Or we are going to continue paying ourselves lip service for generation after generation after generation? Because by the time one joker like Mahmoud Baumia finishes a term, no, let me rephrase that. By the time one thief like your friend is saying, Adodankwa Akufo-Addo, Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo finishes a term and badges his way, finishes 2 terms as a matter of fact, one of which he stole, right? And badges his way to you're kind of saying replace himself with a joker like Baumia. By the time Omumi no ebe no, na generation baako a time fa yako. That is a whole generation is losing about half of their time already before they're replaced by another generation. Or whatever. I don't care. You get the import of what I'm saying, right? 8 years, no, it's a lot of time in the life of a people. You ever say young man be a oba or see? So me, for instance, the first time I voted, I was in St. Peter's. I was just like coming out of sixth form, and as a matter of fact, I went back to school. Not my real school. I had come out of St. Peter's, but because my vote was in the Eastern region, I traveled back to St. Peter's to go. I mean, I had other reasons why, but it was a good opportunity for me to go back there to go vote, right? So what I'm saying is, so be voting for the first time like I did back then, no, 19, thereabouts, 18, 19, thereabouts, 17, maybe 18. 18, 19, 18, I think. Maybe I'm near Hannah Baby calculator and I'm a catcher and Baba figure out whatever. Okay, but what I'm saying though, seriously, on a more serious note, and it's if somebody at that age, right, has voted for the first time, and then they realize, say, oh, they made a mistake. They voted for an Akufo-Addo. They are stranded with an Akufo-Addo for 8 years. That time, no, now what be a young man? At that time, who face realities like rent. Ebia when you jolly be on the shahonum, who face realities like dropping money on the table for the woman to do what they have to do. I also talk when you see with them. I saw so many different things. Maybe your mother is depending on you because she spent her money, her civil servant money, paying for your way through school. And that's what Chekrakro, and that's what Ton Dokuno, and whatever they were doing. They spend their money to look after you through school. Right? Into where you need to attempt to reciprocate. Into after no na I was so yes, I did no first can know him. And then you have a government which for 8 years would not make it possible for you to do anything good for mama. Now we are no sense of another person asking about forcing down your throat. I don't know potential of keeping the status quo the same for another 8 years, wasting 16 years of your life. The youth of Ghana have to resent this. It's an insult. Say Yehuma Humuruba Homia any paper so president of Ghana. It's disrespectful to the people of Ghana. It's disrespectful to the youth of Ghana now. More promise more jobs now. Ending up looting the country dry and leaving them with nothing. It's an insult to them. It's an insult to the people that you said you are going to give. You're kind of saying it's our job. It's our the normal program. A friend is saying planting for food and jobs. One factory, one all the people that you enrolled, all the people that were rallying after you, all the people like my good friend in New York who spent his money, donated to useless outfits like Sinap, coalition to elect Nanado and Baumia, gave thousands of dollars to that coalition to have you people elected, only for them to come and realize that no, they threw their money away, and not only they threw their money away, they used their money to bring a gorgon to come and loot Ghana dry. These are NPP people who tell me that. So we know the whole because those times when Nanado and Baumia were coming to New York and parading, when they had that coalition led by people like Kwame Ajiman-Budo, who was later rewarded by being the kind of saying deputy managing director of ECG, a very strategic spot like that. And I wonder if Kwame was equipped for that. That is something I'm going to take up another day. We're going to look at Kwame's CV and whether he was qualified for that spot. But of course, he was the hatchet man in New York. He was the one who was rallying all these people to put all their thousands of dollars together to fund Akufo-Addo's election. So of course, he had to get some kind of reward like that. But for people like my friend who actually put their money in the till, no, and got a raw deal, no, and these are NPP people, no. Let's not digress too much. Like I keep saying, we sometimes go off tangent a little bit, but never off topic. So back to topic. What I'm saying is that Baumia does not even have to show up as president. But that being said, Baumia has shown us a certain aspect of Ghana, which people like me, we wanted to hide, to be honest with you. Because first of all, now because a Ghanaian is a dafter. Na me nti wase kra. Hey, Charlie, back in the day, let me tell you one, so what something like so Charlie Ghanaians be daft to or Charlie Ghana for the Jimmy or Ghana for the me nyonya junekra, me no be kono gidi. Not anymore. Not anymore. Because we have people who are still saying Baumia must come to power and bring some idiot hate. I wonder why we know vex. Charlie, people, I wonder what is next. Because we still have people, educated people, some of who are devious, some of who obviously are chasing the gravy train. Because yes, there's a lot of gravy. Oh, heck yes, there is a lot of gravy. So there are some people who say, Charlie, this is the time. But there are other people who are genuinely They believe in their heads that Bawumia has some type of remedy for Ghana. Why? Why? I want to cry, Charlie. Why? Ghanaians, why? But yeah, fine. So yeah, there are people who think that Bawumia should be there. So he is there, right? But for all this time, have you noticed Mahamudu Bawumia has not named a vice presidential candidate? And hey, personally, I do not care at all. I don't care at all. Because my only interest in seeing the NDC win is that it will stop Mahamudu Bawumia from being a continuation of the wicked, obnoxious, thieving Akufo-Addo government. We need a buffer. Whoever is committed to holding these people to accountability, or to account, and it's only John Mahama who has demonstrated that, that is the person who must win the next election. And yes, sir, we are going to perpetuate a legacy of thievery, lying, and a puppet master system which controls the institutions. That we are going to have that. Our country is not going to be good to live in. Until we need a buffer. I know there are great people in the NPP. People, organize it. Go kick your legs back. Organize. All the good people in the NPP, go back and go start organizing. Because at some point, Ghanaians are going to get fed up with the NDC too. And they would want the NPP back. And at that time, I hope so we'll have good people like John Mahama leading the NPP at the time. Ghanaians with me, I can say, yes, let's give the country to this guy. Currently, as we speak, Ghana needs a John Mahama. And that's where our interest is. But anyway, as I was saying, Bawumia has not been able to show us any vice presidential candidate. We all hear the rumors going around. Hey, rumors. Foundation. Foundation. I don't care, as I said. Right? But if it's signaling something to me, then I think I should share what is signaling to me, with everybody. Check this out. The NPP is, and this is why I would have loved if Mazu was here, so that if I'm saying something and it's not right, he can kick back. And then we can also confirm certain things with him. But to the best of my knowledge, to the best of my understanding, the NPP is operating a system where during, you're kind of saying, when they are in government, and they are going into an election year, and they elect a flag bearer, the flag bearer becomes the leader of the party from that point, right? And for good reason, because that person has to be able to marshal the entire party, command the entire party, and show that he is in charge of the party before they go out there. Have you seen anything like that with Mahamudu Bawumia? Does Bawumia appear to you as does Bawumia appear to you as if he's in charge of the NPP at this point? No. His face is on the ballot paper, but that's it. Because, and I'm saying this, I'm bringing this point in because this is the reason why he has not been able to name a flag bearer. Because it is not even his choice to make. It is the choice of the people who have forced and machinated to bring him into the slot that he is in right now. No? What I say? Now so baby. Na so akwana no so ye baba na unse me woman nam de bakwa betwe won for bakuntwem. Akwana mo so ye baba Ayensu, Philip Ayensu, that's his name. Almost a baba. Maybe he's more, and maybe the media and social media is just projecting him as a barber because he owns a hairdressing salon or a barbering salon or whatever. But I think that for somebody to be able to pull off that type of thing, for Gabi to even the snobbish, you can't say butter won't melt it in his mouth, Gabi or trader to even sit down and do anything with somebody, I think there's more to this guy than a barber, right? But what I was thinking, Donnie said, so we a barber, that's a community of people like Kenoforia Tamumua, or Kwame Budu, who was a customer service agent for Con Edison in New York. That's all of a sudden, what barber deputy the director of ECG. And And that's how Akufo-Addo operates. Because first of all, no share that you're worthy of sport na the amount too much. It is a godfather who gave you the spot, so you have to respond. When the godfather says, sign this paper, you go and sign it without even taking a second look, even if you understand it. Enough said about that. What I'm saying is, Bawumia is not in charge of the New Patriotic Party at this time as we speak. Mahmoud Bawumia is not in charge of the New Patriotic Party. Adodankwa Akufo-Addo, Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo is still in charge of the New Patriotic Party. Even if you want Bawumia's favor, the surest way to get it is through the Akufo-Addo joint. Okay, can we trust Ghana to such a person? Obviously, he's coming there to act as a buffer, to muddy the waters and further blur the lines so that we cannot prosecute a thieving government that has completed the heist and is about to jump into the escape vehicle and run out. But these people almost give me a complex. Charlie, seriously, let me say this. Akufo-Addo government, I personally see it as a perfect heist. Perfect heist. Bank robbery, state robbery, perfect one, right? Because first of all, they managed to get their people, see Ghana as the bank. Okay, and as we go along, I'll draw your attention to the analogy that I'm making. Ghana is the bank. These people are the bank robbers. They didn't just grab guns and come in. Some other people may have done that. Grab guns and come in and hold everybody to ransom, put a gun to your head and rob the bank dry and go away. It's too obvious. That's not their style. They intentionally took their time and made sure that they get people in places. They get, first of all, the guy who will get the other guys in places. So they got the bank manager, they got their man in the bank to be the bank manager. And the bank manager employed cashiers and other people who will make the heist easy. And then they got the other people who will come in from outside and fake the robbery and thief all the money. Ghana is the bank. Follow me. Now, they have completed that. They only have 7 months. How many months left in office? And they have completed the mission. They have milked Ghana dry. People like Addison. Yeah, I'm friend Philip. They be a confusing with my brother Philip, who is a respectable lawyer, as far as I'm concerned. Hasn't done anything to be, cast in any form of disreputable, image. But this one at the Bank of Ghana, your friend is saying, Charlie, this is why anyhow, all right. So that guy, the Addison guy from the Bank of Ghana, every 1 year, Ebok has $6 billion that he doesn't even care to account for. What do you think that is? It's a heist. It's a heist. These people have succeeded in robbing the bank. The only thing left, they say, the alarm bells have went off. Bank alarm system not off. CCTV cameras are catching a bit more. Okay, all right, CCTV not catch them, they don't care because money. But what they need, and he say they need to get clean out of the bank and make for it without the police being in chase. How can they do that? If they get the bank manager, another bank manager, because they say, who's a bank manager, first one, or can heist into any Roberts, Charlie, this be some serious plot line, man. We should make some movie like that. And I don't know why my headphones are misbehaving. Hold on a second. I'll be right back, people. Hold on.
We know vex enough, oh. We know vex enough. We know vex enough, oh.
All right, yes. Thank you very much. Into bank manager na kasa na yede bank ni share ne sa no. Se na yebe hu so no cramp na oka ho nti escape vehicle ne besi ho na ye amanfo dwane akono ono kwa na di kan di mika akwakotena escape vehicle ne mo first. And we need a new bank manager. Now, what if they are able to plant another new bank manager in the place who is going to distract the police being the people of Ghana, being the law, being John Mahama coming after these people's backsides? But what if instead of John Mahama, no, they get in a Mahmoud Baumia, who is a new bank manager, but police for nearby, no. Instead, so catch on Charlie Heights for no, or Mafa has say moon chase your mono, or catch on okay to moon train, Montanas in a main church as a moon and tremo. Moonim say a bro and a dear docuno, and a docuno so, ye de meko nedi, and a meko so cran ye trivia, to Mr. Den Chinam Kaho, and Sana Uvi now bones you guswa, Uvia, and Sana wow wekusu What I say, Obeka say me na Heights for no, or maybe baby fufro. That is what is going on. That's exactly what is going on. So they want to plant a Baumia in there who will muddy the waters, who will distract the people of Ghana, who for at least another 4 years will make sure that he muddies the waters so that we cannot trace the monies that they have stolen. But what if that does not happen and we are able to install a John Dramani Mahama who is committed, who has at least signaled that he's committed to retrieving the monies that these people have stolen? Me personally, that would be enough reason to vote for John Dramani Mahama. I don't care about anything else. I don't. Because our future generations and never to us as can area no. Because me member or more taxes or mobile bituano and a shas uncle for we atas no. If you understand how that works. Because on my mortgage these things. And a scan show more, or the S line in Oma Quack board, or more mortgage, and on my just canon a show more. Let me explain this to some of us who, and thankfully for me, I get people who are able to explain these things to me. So maybe I can share it, right? But sometimes also because I'm not the expert, no. Hey, let's do this together. The comment section is there. Drop more knowledge in there. But as some make when they say, check this out, oh. Yan funny say, woohoo, yan funny say. Aban no ede akọ bebi so akọ akọje bosia. Okay, odu ho no nipa ne say, and I say, okay, again, let's go back to another analogy. Okay, papa na sorry finifie so akọ akọ pe bosia ede aba be hwefie. Odu bebi akọ pe bosia no ena eja na obo bosia na okreska ne ka chen say nana besia ne de minya mebo wo. But at the end, I chase me ball Busiana and Sabekami Sika because who are Ujina with me show what she know, which is why you have come here in the first place. Na afraid almost I catch a job of Busiana say, oh, ja, Cecilia de Minifio, but a mono, you are DB on my friend no Esla, you are DB why a friend no E Levy, you are DB why a friend no educational, then all this kind of other type of way, no. And no, a tobia, ye GGF Ghana for her, I dada. Afie atwa mu yenya sei afie atwa mu yenya sei nti ye de nyina eba besia wo wase kwata kran bibia pa ho anya akra no ye de saska no ebeba bema mo na ye de tua saska no ohu nti na omaji saska no omoji saska no na komode be ye kwan na komode be si e-blocks na komode koye afari hospital na komode koye sagleme housing. And I'm coming to Kokoye, Circle Dubai Interchange. And I'm coming to Kokoye hospitals. And I'm coming to Kokoye cheap block, you can say cheap compounds. Right? And I'm coming to Kokoye Cocoa Roads. Right? And I'm coming to Kokoye Terminal 3. And can you see because like future generations need to ya so money you see at the end more. Because kwanya yesi future generations for now so na eba be fasu bio. But obia kwakwa diska no na odiska na hye na taso odi bia kwa elections odi bia kwakwa hye ne mpaase ema made ewiem $1 million ene ade no na me ma eba be tua saska no that is some become eba be drop back. And I'm trying very hard not to be dropping too many expletives on this show. Even though when it comes, to be honest with you. Because seriously, that is nonsense. Say you better now say you're comfortable, say, obi, and in the bush and in the cronies, jiska in the name of Ghana, Eddie. Now, your future generations, yen mano, and a baby to yes, askano. Now, what's also you're comfortable with that? Now, Baumia, and my president, now unholy, undistracted, now heist for no, and Janin you are sick, my brother. And I say, maybe you have something to benefit from that. And I said it the other time, if you have something to benefit from that, if you are part of the heist, and it's a very complex heist, into my heist in such a way that there are people along the road that they believe they are part of the heist, but they are not. What would I make channel? There are people who feel that the heist going on will benefit them, but it will not. But people are daft enough to support some nonsense like this going on. Akufo-Addo's government milking Ghana dry. People won't speak. People are still saying that Baumia should come and be president. I wish I had Mazu Muftau to talk about this, but anyhow, that's what I have to say. Baumia is not even in charge of the NPP. How is he going to be in charge of Ghana? How is Baumia going to be in charge of Ghana? He can't even control the NPP. Under Baumia, the NPP is disintegrating. Now, after Baumia loses this election for the NPP, and I'm moving who the real impact, and I'm moving who the real Baumia, and I'm moving who how the NPP really feels about Baumia. I keep saying this every day. Time will tell. We'll go on to the second subject before we bounce. All right. The time is 2:34. Just going on 2:35 studio time. Studio 1, Texas, USA, Radio Culture. Our studio 2 is in Mount Pontin, Kumasi, and we have a whole litany of programming for you. We also have iCulture TV. Please, I'm begging you. I don't normally use the word beg, but in this case, in a literal sense, you say Ghana, so you can say be pouchow and then is this along those lines. So yes, I'm begging you, or I'm asking you nicely. Please go to the App Store. Why? Okwa, download the app in my app, your friend Radio Culture. As you can see right up there, it says so, right? Radio Culture. Culture is spelled Kulcha. And now, download the please let us know your WhatsApp forum. Unfortunately I don't have the number handy right now. I'll announce it another time. You can always visit us over there, if only just to drop a comment. Let us know how you feel. Even tell us how you feel about the shows we're doing. Whether you don't have to agree with us at all. This show is not for anybody to agree with us. This show is for us to just sit up. Basically, it's just to draw our attention to certain things, and it's an editorial show. I'm telling you what I think. I'm telling you what I see from where I sit. Maybe that's not what you see from where you sit. Like I said, if you're sitting next to Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, that's a from the other end. Now you will never see what we see. Okay, so it's not for everybody to just agree with us, but it is for us to sound the trumpet, to get good, right-thinking people to start thinking about things before they go and, God forbid, elect somebody who is going to come and distract the policeman while the bank robbers go away. I'll be right back to discuss the EC versus the people. Thank you.
We know vex enough. We know vex enough. Radio. We know vex enough. We know vex enough.
Making you feel sexy and fresh.
I was insulting elder, hungry man, they defend master. At the end of this month, no food for baby's mouth. Wifey they scream and shout, everything is going south.
Hello, I am Adam Bona. I am a citizen of this country and as a spectator. As the president some time ago enjoined us to be, I am using this medium to invite Parliament and by extension, the Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament to institute a probe into the Cecilia Dapa cash saga. I have a feeling Iyoko is not telling us the truth. And I can say with certainty that Iyoko has also become the headquarters of corruption. There is a need to investigate what happened between these two institutions under the executive. These two institutions, Iyoko and Special Prosecutor, are both under the Attorney General's office. And so to have Iyoko being handed over the file to investigate this under money laundering, which comes under them.
You mentioned meeting hackers in the meeting in Abeokuta.
Yes.
What was your? Did you have some discussions with them?
We did.
Okay.
It was a very, very eye-opening experience for me. We were discussing the use of IT in elections and the disputes that had begun to emerge as a result of the use of IT. And so President Obasanjo, I had a discussion with him and he said, why don't we hold, a forum? I'll host it in my presidential library. And so he sent the invitation and I went, and he had IT experts, he had people from electoral commissions, myself and Raila Odinga were there. Raila was the candidate in Kenya when I went to observe the elections. He was there. And there were two hackers. They actually said, these are hackers. They had certificates in hacking. And they showed how IT systems could be compromised. And they took us through a lot that, I didn't know existed. But it is real. It is real that they're able to hack into a system and be able to bring it down or to extract whatever they want out of it.
In the Tyranny case, the EC must register everybody who is eligible and is willing to register. Do you understand? And the law also says that you should make the registration centers closer to the people. The EC is not going by any of those laws and principles. But you see, I blame our Supreme Court once again, because in 2020, public officers owe a duty to the people they serve. And so at the end of a service, you owe it a duty to account for your stewardship. When Jane Mensa was brought to the Supreme Court after changing her own election results 4 times, the Supreme Court gave her a leeway out and did not put her in the dock. Because if she had been put in the dock like Afro Jamu did, see, when you're a public servant, when you owe a duty to the public, because my taxes are used in paying you. After rendering service, and there are challenges with the service you rendered, you gave us results on the 9th of December. You changed it on the morning of the 10th. On the 16th, when you're going to gazette your results, you changed it. And when you're coming to the Supreme Court, you came with a different results. How did you arrive at these results? You owe it a duty to tell us why those changes. I don't know how best you account to the people, but the man or the person or the woman in charge mounting the document telling you and I that I did A, I did B, and this is what happened. It is not the responsibility of the NDC in Parliament. The NDC in Parliament cannot enforce issues of mandamus and what have you. It is the courts that do those enforcement. I blame the Supreme Court for the EC getting away with some of these things. Because you see, what the Supreme Court doesn't realize is that anytime there are election disputes and it sparks chaos, nobody is spared.
I know why. Words of wisdom coming from the National Youth Organizer of the National Democratic Congress. He's popularly known as Pablo. I didn't miss that. I say, I come to me. Phoning on the radio, Charlie, Saturday. Anyhow, all right. So, words of wisdom, especially at the end bit, where he drops that timely warning. Because what we have here is a situation where we are playing with the very peace of the country that we all love so much. That country that has nurtured all of us and continues to do so. That country that promises to nurture our children and our children's children. That country, that is our birthright. The only country to which we can point and turn back to our chest and say, yeah, dear, this is my country. No matter where any of us is. And I'm having a strong urge to bonfire on this thing again where people think, say, if you live outside of Ghana, no, you are less patriotic or you are not as patriotic. That's stupid. And it's shocking when you hear that coming from people who are in Nkrumahs and whatnot, because you know what? Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, once upon a time, at a certain stage in his life, lived outside of the country extensively. What I say? I didn't hear. We need everybody. We need people who are outside. Every country has a diaspora. China is the way it is because it has a very strong diaspora. China has a really strong diaspora. Every major city in the United States that you go to has a Chinatown. And all the Chinatowns that I've seen in the United States, no, is prime real estate. What I say? New York, Chinatown or New York, it's sitting right next to the Southern District. We say law courts, no. Southern is no more lawyers and judges. Chinatown is catering for them in terms of restaurants, parking, all of the. Charlie, that's what I'm talking about. Ghana, me ba New York first. Me who said taxi driver somewhere. Ganata Hall. I was so happy. I'm like, oh yes. At least in our own modest way, we started owning some real estate. We started owning part of New York. And the 4 years. And I'm say, I bet Jeff, your Muslim say, I don't say 2 more, say, I anything, I don't even know. But let me not digress too much. Sometimes we go off tangent, but never off topic. What I'm saying is this. I'm saying, say, every country that is great, also has a great diaspora. And so for those of you who want to see those of us living in the diaspora as any less, you are very misinformed. Because some of these people are my brethren, and I don't want to hurt nobody. Understand? I don't want to go stir no, hornet's nest. I just want to state the obvious. Say, Ghana, Ghana, we need a strong diaspora. You know why? Because something like tourism is part of every country's greatness. And tourism, so it is mostly fueled by people living outside of the country. Nigeria, let me show you that example. If you've been around, not too long ago, Nigeria had a very negative image. And I'm not even talking about the 419 thing, even before 419 and all of this thing, Nigeria had a pretty negative image, right? With all kind of different viewpoints that Hollywood, even in Hollywood, there was a lot of jokes made about the African prince, which was a reference to a fraudulent person on the internet waiting to thief your money. You understand? Nigeria had that image, but slowly, surely, let me check this out. Through people like Burna Boy, through people like all these other good ambassadors of Nigeria, through the music, through the culture, through the culinary. If you go to New York, right, Ura restaurant, you say African food, your African restaurant, but it's a Nigerian restaurant, which is holding a certain standard. You know who goes to Buka restaurant? Chelsea Clinton goes to Buka restaurant. Your friend is saying Wyclef Jean goes to Buka restaurant. And it's how somehow slowly, even though the politicians are still weighing Nigeria down, it says it's a corrupt country, whatnot. On the other end, Nigerians have been able to lift the image of Nigeria up, especially in the diaspora. I went to a nightclub. One of my actresses was having her birthday party. She invited me to a nightclub in New York. We're in the nightclub, Charlie. It got to a point the DJ was dropping African rhythms. Brother, nightclub in New York filled with every race under the sun. And they are dropping the Nigerian music like not. And when they drop it, I can't see the way people are responding to it. Every country that is great needs a strong diaspora. Stop the nonsense. After all, do you know how much money comes from the diaspora to support people at home? Ghana is a balancing act. Ghana needs to say Nakufo-Addo be unbearable, without a diaspora sending remittances home. How would Ghana even survive? Stop the nonsense. Any which ways, young Koso. Because I say, let's go on. Let's be serious. Mensa, is somebody that we have to look in the face and bare our teeth at. Okay? Let's stop dealing with Jean Mensa. Say, oh, when I am Mami Jean Mensa, ubete news. News nankasano, and I keep saying the way the news is presented in Ghana nankasano, it is part of the problem. Because Jean Mensa knew Bia Mami, and Yami Mami ni Jean Mensa. Jean Mensa was hired by me to go and make sure, say, we sustain the democracy that we have by conducting a genuine elections to transition one government to the other, or to retain a government if they are so lawfully, legally elected by the people. Long story short, Jean Mensa is hired by us to just be a referee of what we want to say about who gets to lead us. Now, Jean Mensa has usurped the position of a kingmaker. You know, Ghana and Jean Mensa am I 4, 5, how many ever different results of an election. Na yen can be say even football ya cry ya boy. Na se yakwa football. Na se your ball ni we no referee no obia ni tue bi say penalty ya ball ye. Kotoko share 5. Bofa kwa share 3. And so referee say bofa kwa na winning. Yes, referee adintra or say oh who say a penalty bi na meje wo no na ni sanke ye deka ho into the tie no free mu also obata no so sanke ti free mu kwanka also oh and then so kwai ti free mu 4, 5 times the Mensa was still fumbling with results. Yekoko the court Supreme Court so na people like Enin Yaboa was also there, strategically placed to supervise a situation where Jean Mensa would never get to answer to the people of Ghana. Until you hire Obia Wababe Gorgon, ewa so. Edia Simsunye. Jean Mensa, the way you are conducting yourself, no one year, the only option you are giving Ghanaians is force. Because they hired you. And I don't think say anybody dreamt for a minute. Say Jean Mensa beba bijaho akache Ghana for say go stick it up where the sun don't shine. Minyesho so bia da sonda eda. Say Jean Mensa ebe jaho ama Ghana for akache and say ye pesi ye register was a Jean Mensa beka say there be. You can only go to the EC office to go and register. No one said that is going to disenfranchise people, especially young voters, like I was when I registered those years, many years ago, under Farijan. And the system was so smooth that when it was time for me to go vote, I smoothly traveled from Kumasi to Nkwetia Kwewu to go and vote without any hiccups and came back. It was never perfect, though. It was never perfect. But what we've noticed, they say, any EC improves on what is there already. Because those times now, me no can want them no. They were opaque boxes. Be quite another question. And no say, I buy not so no. Jerry Rollins are buying. Or kwaku tribute gumo unim. They are kind. Yes, Rollins they winning. And I'm for saying, intiminian is a yemfa transparent box. And ya basa bedu to say you. Now you bedu to say ya Jean Mensa assigned the yakko back to the days of opaque boxes. Jean Mensa now or no Emma of 4 different results at the time, no, or no catcher will say, or yes, some exercise be on the office, so now my party need be in see ho. Or per se, I say yo yati in see ho. I could not help myself. I tried so hard, but we what's the year king? 18 I make sure will say, if Jean Mensa does not sit up and realize, say, or money who too much power. The only thing the only option will be leaving Ghanaians, a force. Because Ghanaians, and as I was saying, EC now president, EC China president, we have to revise that. We have to revise that. I think say the EC should be a separate college on its own, an institution on its own in the true sense of the word. What do I mean? What if we have an institution which kinda is like parliament? So people try to get there on their own merit. And how about we do it? Say you cannot get there on the ticket of any party. So we have individual. It's done in other places. You go, even here in the United States, when it's time for people to vote, you see people passing flyers around for things like even trying to get on the school board. School board. No, flyers. No, I'm not campaigning. School na ye school system no me will be become one hopa I be boy nyina nti wo me fly we be elections to ma me why okwa school board no to ma me why yeah your friend is saying na need so kwa no wato ama no na okọ. How about we have a system like that where people individually campaign to get in an institution like an electoral college which elects its own leader, so it's not answerable to any president? Because he said, "Yeah, say John Mahama na de Charlotte say buy. Nti Akufo do buy obe two na man for say, okay, all right, say John Mahama, fair enough. John Mahama so sign back. That's obe two Mensa, which he must do. Obi odini bebe looking like John Mahama preference. And if another person buy, the tendency will be to move him again or her again. So we have take that, strip the president of that power completely. Strip the president of that power of appointing the EC head. No. Strip him, because if you don't have a disciplined person like Afarijan working along a disciplined person like Jerry Rawlings or John Mahama, in the case of a Charlotte or say, who would say, oh yes, the opposition actually won the elections. Let's hand over to them. Yeah, show your constitution, no. Yeah, now you say, be bia pepe, or be adwin ye juma. Yeah, so be adwin a Charlotte say, any Afarijan. So be adwin to say John Mahama, any Atamels, any John Kufuor. Let's mention that too, because John Kufuor lost an election while in power and peacefully handed over. Name so be adwin ye juma ti sa. Na ye nim say eba benya nipa bia omo adwene no in their heads, no, we are subordinate to them until no, they can do whatever they like. Mensa thinks she can do whatever she likes, and I think say for her own sake, but not just for her own sake, because I personally do not care about Mensa. I don't know her. Minim no from newspaper and the internet. I have no emotional connection with Mensa whatsoever. I don't care what happens to Mensa. But I care what happens to Ghana, my beloved country, because the Mensa, he has the potential to bring bad results to my beloved country, Ghana. And then yasantina honum sa, and a mami way obema 4 results. Mami way ya, or tina honuma, or no on TV, live mic, a catching or catch it's how can my friend saying, idiot guy, Bossman Asare, catch a Bossman, can't form me down, men fear mo. Nipa no more point till some more better now, or more bizarre question in the press conference. Mensa was caught on live audio telling Bossman Asare, said, can't form me down, don't mind them, don't mind these people, or mono dog these people. That's what we're dealing with. And personally, I'm very happy when I hear the NDC posturing, said they are not going to put up with that shenanigans, because NDC Mensa no to me and tackle no with diplomacy. With chamubuga, listen, NDC mobile ball, right? And opponent any slight tackle with 2 assay, like with chow hard one pa referee buyer or see there be any foul. I don't cry a foul cramp against woman. Any yet was on the able no referee kroya I say or baby di next match. NDC mujidi say mubeti atina say any referee way akese mode FIFA rules eba be game no enye dwuma. Also mutimi tackle referee no before crampo be field ne so. If so be field this one. What I say? But under the circumstances, under whatever circumstances we are working with, of course, Obeba be see field, so never be next match, it will be see next match, and so I'll see Timmy a clipping the wings to the point say, Obe do next match, and so Obe see field, and so only choice than to declare what she is seeing on the field, rather than what was cooked in some room by Joe Anoche and co. I went cooking ye and being Joe Anoche did a lousy job trying to manufacture figures for an MPP to win no election that he did not win. So we cannot trust a Ejin Mensa EC. And when I say we, I mean the people of Ghana. Because let me make this clear. Because sometimes as journalists, we are summoned to play some sort of a refereeing role where we ask questions and we stay in the middle for people to answer. But every journalist worth his salt, for crying out loud, has an opinion. And that's why we have an editorial. If you're a journalist and you don't have an opinion, then you are a zombie. No journalism school will teach you not to have an opinion. Every journalism school will teach you to be balanced, will teach you to be factual, will teach you to be, get your points right and all of that. But no journalism school will buy you from having and expressing an opinion which is born out of, first of all, common sense, and two, facts. And we are looking at the facts on the ground. We're listening to people. We're a media house. We have shows. People, watch our shows. You will see some of the things. There's this show called Street Parliament. That's one of the young guys on our platform does for iCulture TV. I think that when they finish it, they put it on our YouTube channel. Go there and go find it out. Hear what people are saying, even in their own strongholds. People are marking this government with an F. Now, what would make people who are marking a government with an F usher in another government of the same caliber to come and continue what? And the Ghanaians have already signed off this government. Election is just a formality. It's just a way for us to go and say, okay, it is a war chimp now they're quite worried. What I say, uni mobani dada. Uni na sanka unko worry no. Sometimes I see mamu from home come home until say sometimes it works. Hey, personally, I can attest to that. It's possible, right? To stay, away from all that. And then they discuss it. But I'm just saying, right? Say, it's just like having been in an affair and finally going to seal the vows. Right? Ghana for your was our stage in which say in him say said this government is no good for us. They must go. There's nothing like breaking no 8. That is not happening in any normal situation. And we are not ready for any abnormal situation. We're not. Your country, you're not ready to be plunging into any chaos. So, right? And I'm more Viescano. This is what I'm saying to the youth of Ghana. All this that we're doing is for you. Obiakovia wusika. Etwana waku iskana waku viano. Wo ena wo ba bitu sika no in future. Ena ye kwama ena wanka sans wo sorry na asan ba 200 cedis. No more than them whole tax. No more you can say polling station, EC office. No more sike yo so honom. Ye chimwa. And I'm a can't be chill. A bind way is on his last feet, is on his way out into wood your mochi as a youth. That's a whole yene kobane the whole young kwasi John crew to Juma. O time crowd ya so crampo dadao. When I do ye kwata ejuma kwata no and praprasi no. Kwasi Juma kasa de kan yene dadao. A bind way or more mature ejuma ya ye dada ema the win elections abedi 8 years. She say no aka one with them or mobile kwasi Juma. Ebema ya usher in Baumia, which is not going to happen. It is not going to happen. People, MPP for some of the strategy, Baba. Any strategy under the sun that they bring will not work. Why? Because the only strategy that will work, and it's Omu Ria Abanim, and Ghanaians are going to be vigilant. No be can't say be name it debasa. You know, even though we should be careful what we say to these things about these things because hey, I don't know, maybe that could be chaotic too, right? But check this out. Yes, Nkofon was some won't say MPP for succeeded to recruit their own people as electoral officers across the country. Excuse me. Excuse me. Across the country, right? Omono. Eventually, omono mbeka yabano. Inti one of the eye omobe say, you say omo ebi okan yabano. Ebi okan 1, 2, you know what kind say maybe I would do it by 38. And this nyame fan is 50 yakan yewe etaho. MPP so yeah kind of you could do by 38. You say aka by 5 pe, right? It's 38, 49, 50, 51. Won't that me person say and in such a way say what name so no more year for no more the and sometimes they bribe the people who are even representing NDC over there. And these people have stolen so much money, say they can do that. MPP, NDC, be vigilant. Be very careful who you put in those places to monitor your stuff. Because a lot of them have the potential to be compromised. Be very careful. Keep an eye on them. If you have a certain way of monitoring them, monitor them closely. All right. But monitor also the people who are counting. Send the panickers on what kinds and to say one number muguhoni na mabuaji so 2 in a chorus. 3 na money na kind could do so because one share or back skipping it by 10. But again, no, I'm just imagining a scenario where you are counting like that and people are like excited and maybe even counting faster than the panel can. It's potentially going to be chaotic. Okay. It's all I'm saying, right? But this issue cannot be trusted. Right now, no, Ghana, we need to rescue our destiny. How much time do I have? Okay, I think I just hit my time. But let me just round up by saying Ghana, no, and it's not even for some of us when we do this now. It's not for me personally. For me personally, I'm thinking more about the future generation more than myself. Let me be honest. If I send money to Ghana, right? I don't live in Ghana, so I don't pay e-levy directly. But if I send money to Ghana for somebody to do something for me, and Abibisa, also Miko scanner and so on, chill the 100 cedi source because almost e-levy. It vexes me past anything on this earth, I swear. Because I know that that's money that's being stolen from me. But I know me yet say, me daho no ma me dwen ehu say, me mana omo bano omonti na sebi ebi mpo a me tu bata se me kwa brochi krampo akwako dipa kakra enyeska kakra abamba mo feature aye papa because the system in Ghana that I left behind was not giving me that. So I'm trying to fast forward that for my own family by maybe certain, or however. I'm just saying, I'm just giving an example. Don't read this as my story. You don't know my story, all right? And I hate people who try to live your story because everybody have their own unique story. You understand? But what I'm saying is, when I think of nipa na yen yebe di pass ye de kwa future no aye better for omo no. Omo crampo no are not connected to what we are doing. They don't understand what we are doing, or they are disconnected, or they're even fighting against what we are doing now. It hurts a lot. It hurts a lot. But like I said, then say make this will be because a Ghanaian said dafter. I don't argue with them anymore because I've seen some very daft people in my motherland. And some of who have the potential, to make the wrong choice to bring somebody like Mahamudu Bawumia into government. And that's signing off Ghana. That's like nailing the coffin for Ghana. That's like sounding the death knell for Ghana. That's like giving up completely on Ghana. Because Ghana under Bawumia, there will be nothing left. There will be nothing left. Nothing. Already now, what is there left? What is there left? Achimota Forest crap will be a ton their money. I told crap put their money off. Yes, so what was what was I mean kind of thing at the money off. I say, what's left? Yeah, kwako say for we are scan bank we no 2 car no call Yes, kwako phobia or no so send on your money shisha no be bank manager into police for the buyer no. If that's what catch police for say or move far Fader Road Mundi omuchi na mumfa because I had no fire. And I said, debut, omufa, omuni chair shaman, into one for money chair, and yes, or more charm, or more shaman, or some American, a shaman, so quine that way, the baby, and I'm a boy, or more to omuni chair flower quine, or more fa kumasi quine, or mufa a second D, Sunani quine, so no fire, into mundi omuchi. Instead, any panabacasa, no, see, Debbie, Montanasi, Mundi ice water. Police force be am kwachi akrofo no se da bi se akrofo no se metimi kyerɛw ɔmoni so ye ohun konfo no ba kwa so tintin kakaba on da nya tintin too much sa nso so no hwe a so tintin bi sei ohun nti ne tintin no o de hwe ne tintin ne tetia no a now de weni bubu a obefa ne se me fa ne sa so ye tintin tetia bi sei won da me kyerɛ aha na nso no de ye ma nso no na me topo kakra o so ohun yen konko chesi akrofo se oh de bi se me kyerɛw se kofo no mo kɔye no ɔmo nipa bi a say yes, ye de no moto obewie na konfo ne kɔ sana ba omi apɛ sɛ ɔyɛ distract yen ɔbɛba no ye be wie no 4 years no so even if so when the 8 years na so di 4 years in 4 years ne be so no that there's no trace of such kind of konfo we mo wia no probe nothing not terms we are expire no immunity be are setting in and konfo be cannot be probed anymore etc etc odwen Ghana ho na sɛ wonim sɛ sika na nkɔfo no wia no yɛbɛtumi retrieve sika no na de bi ayɛ Ghana yie na de bi akɔ akɔtua ka na ɛwɔ sɛ yɛde kɔtumi bi a ɛwɔ sɛ ɛda yɛanyɛ ne saa mpo a yɛwɔ leader bi te sɛ John Dramani Mahama onim nyansa enough a otimi ɛde internal resources raise terminal 3 otimi build a Aboadze gas plant otimi set up generational projects it be pay for itself no nti agigis kan fi nkɔfo no a $6 billion na show matter so no $6 billion and we are just one scandal. Do you know what $6 billion can do? Nti agigis as kan in area they were generational thinker or this as can or the burden or be invested to the benefit of the future generations and the burden no if me man or mobile so no waiting me enjoy Ghana so that they don't have to travel like I did to have a better life unless they choose to, so that they can have a Ghana where be wo bia no e wo hobby and then oko Ghana John Mahama built UGMC Medical Hospital and then Montefiore Hospital e wo New York pepe. And if we have somebody who can put that in place, that means say in the next couple years, no, yeah, bridge gap, yeah, ben standard be to the normal na. Ema ye hu abrocha, ema ye fu se sebi. Oti abrocha we ni pachen yobi Ghana no. Then yeah, bridges are no money in because obo we ni a. Masa, me call Ghana. I went into Accra Mall. And I had been away for so long. Say, me fi Ghana, I'm said Accra Mall, ni ho. Say, what na me call at the time, right? But it had been a while. So I went to Ghana and I barged into the Accra Mall. Brother. Swarovski, the same stores that you see. Well, some of the stores are different because the brands are different, right? But even the setup, everything. I thought I was at, you can't say, I thought I was in one of these malls. In the United States, I mean. Yo, I thought I was in Yonkers or something. I thought I was at Ridge Hill. In fact, I played a joke on my wife, right? Because no name said me call Ghana and I had just landed and everything. So I took a photo and then I text her with the photo and I said, hey, I'm back. Meet me at Ridge Hill. And then she saw the photo too, so she was like quite confused, to be honest with you. Because the photo looked like I was at Ridge Hill. But this was me with like the, you know, and Shemi and everything with him say Ghana and then long story short, what I'm saying is people, we have leaders that are capable of bridging that gap, no, of developing our country to the point that Abroche would not even matter. Because Abroche, that's access to a mall, all these stuff, Nike, whatnot, also to Accra, also with the same access. Because there's a mall at Accra which sells the same things. Because there's a conducive business environment that makes it profitable for somebody to invest for something like that to happen, which we were enjoying. We had Ghanaian banks that were lending money to our own people. But we go banks in, and then they are there, and then they don't even have the so many room post. They want to break some 8. The time that Pahon be brain and Migusu and Makasa no. The Makasa for 9 extra minutes. Makasa for 9 extra minutes. I have to bounce. Actually, as you can see, my attention is actually being sought somewhere. I have to go. All right. So anyhow, this has been Weekend Editorial. Thank you very much for doing the listening. Once more, please go and download our app. Go on the App Store and download our app. It's called Radio Culture. And your TV version is called iCulture TV. All right. Please do that. And then also for those who are doing the listening on our mother platform, www.gnewsnow.com. Thank you very much. We do appreciate that a lot. If you're not doing so and you're also listening to us on morethanghana.com, we also appreciate that a lot. And for all the other platforms, including my Tuna Radio, if you are listening to us on any of those platforms, or the Texas crew doing the listening, the Ghana team, thank you very much. Everybody doing the listening, the New York people, thank you very much. Everybody. Obia, Ghana Fonina, Yadamunina Masi. And for those of you who also caught us on social media, on YouTube, no, Yabadamon Somasi. The only thing I can say, if you're watching, if you happen to catch us on YouTube, please let's drop a presence, okay? Drop a comment. Let's know, say you are there, so that we know how to appreciate you and everything. All right, we're working on getting more involvement from our audience, i.e., phone calls and stuff like that, because of staffing and time zone issues and stuff like that. That's becoming an issue, but we'll resolve that and then we'll have everything done for you, our cherished listeners. Thank you very much once more. I'm out like a light. My name is Kwesi, a son back home. I come in peace. I come not to please. This has been Weekend Editorial. I'll see you, God willing, next week with another topic. Till such times, Radio Culture. We do what we have to do. One love.
Never. Nasa kasi mutini free and I'm a boy. Es gracia or yonko aje wamwa.